Hi, this is Bob from Turbot. If you're looking for a quick demo of Turbot Guardrails features, you're in the right spot. In this video, we're going to show how you can use Turbot Guardrails to get to green on your CIS recommendations. Using Turbot Guardrails, you can apply policies that will automatically take action on your behalf. In other videos, we showed how you can assess your CIS recommendations in real time. You can also get real-time alerts. You could take quick actions to remediate any misconfigurations. In this video, we're going to specifically focus on how you can turn on these guardrails to continuously enforce in real time to make sure that your recommendations are being met continuously. To get started, you would have already installed the AWS CIS mods. You would have installed related AWS modules as well for those applicable resources. And you would have set your CIS reports to be enabled per other videos that we showcased. Assuming those are preset, we're going to dive right in and we're going to show off how to enable one of your CIS controls to automatically remediate. With the CIS report, we'll just pick one of the controls. So here we'll go down to the CIS version 3.0 benchmark. We'll just go down into storage. We'll go to the S3 section, and specifically we'll focus on section 2.1.4. Now here I have a number of buckets that aren't meeting this policy to block public access using the bucket settings. And so we have about 22 buckets that are in scope that we can set a bucket policy to automatically fix these misconfigurations. There are two policies that relate to each other. So one is you can pick which public access block settings that you want to configure. In this case, all four of these configurations would meet this recommendation. And so here I'm going to set that these four public access block settings should be enabled. And so we'll update the policy against my Acme organization. Okay, now these are set. The other related policy is then what to do with those public access block settings. And so here I have it set to skip, but I can put it into enforce mode, which will actually take action to configure all the buckets with those settings defined in the other policy. Now, what Guardrails is going to do is now it's going to set all those policies. It's going to apply those values to all those resources. Great. So now that we're looking at the activity, we can then see all the activity that Turbot took across the environment. So here, there's a number of resources that are alarmed that have moved to OK. And if we look at the resource activity, we could see that Guardrails then updated all those buckets in scope. And so if I just click on one of them, I can look at the configuration details here that Turbot service role updated the public access block settings, which corrected the misconfiguration. Guardrails then evaluated that and then updated the CIS control to green. And so now all of my 20 plus buckets are now green and meeting that particular CIS recommendation 2.1.4. We could go a step further, actually check the entire section of a CIS report and make that green. Back to the Guardrails CIS 3.0 report. If I want to maybe take the networking section here and then look at all of these collections of controls, I can set a grouping of policies to take action on each and every single one of these recommendations. And so I'm going to focus on just one of my environments here within the Acme organization. And so here, if I go to my shared service environment, and then I focus on just the ones that are in alert. And so here I have a number of different CIS recommendations that are not meeting policy across my Acme shared services organization. And instead of just setting one by one policies, Guardrail samples repository actually has a number of examples that we can just pull in. So going here, I've already pulled in those recommendations in those smart folders that have groupings of policies. So for section 5 networking, I already have some predefined policy settings that are grouped together for section 5, and I can just simply apply the smart folder onto this Acme shared services organization. I can go to the resources, I can go to attach, and then I can select my Acme and then shared services and hit attach. Now, once I attach the smart folder, that is very similar to where I was setting the policies directly on the Acme organization. This is setting it as part of the Acme organization. It's applying those grouping of policies with the smart folder. If we go back to the controls and go to section 5, and we'll just look at the controls for that Acme organization. And then I'll sort by the state. Okay, so each one of these are going to then move to a green state. And so looking at the activity, we can then view that. Already Guardrails is taking action on each and every single one of these. And so we can just focus on the resources. And so all these like security groups, network ACLs, etc., are being updated by Guardrails. And so in this case, this is removing the 0.0 IP range that was on this particular security group that wasn't part of the recommended configurations for the CIS. And so here, if I just refresh, Guardrails already started cleaning up. So it cleaned up the EC2 metadata service section, the recommendation, also cleaned up those security group rules. And then we'll finish up here if I do another refresh. And now all of them are remediated. Now Guardrails will also take action on any new changes in the environment. So now that we've set these enforcement policies up, Guardrails will continuously monitor for any changes, any new resources, any changes to existing resources. Guardrails will take action to always ensure that you're green to your CIS policies and other guardrail policies that you have set in your environment. If you're interested in getting started with the CIS recommendations, please reach out to us at turbot.com/start.